Ladies and gentlemen, K Kim here. Welcome to the Daily Update. Hope you guys had a good day trading today. Market is down slightly there on the S&P. We got about 0.27% negative on the S&P, and the Nasdaq is down about 0.5, 0.4 on the semiconductor. Small caps made a move. They're about 2% positive. Dow pretty much flat. Banks also made a move, 0.7%. Energy is 0.8. Transport is up 1.4% today. Biotech is pretty much flat, slightly down there, and emerging market is positive. It's interesting day today. We got some greens, we got some reds. Nothing heavy though. We got some heavier green days on small caps here on 2%. You know, we got the transport almost 1.5%. Rest of the market, you know, slightly green, slightly red type of day today. Grayscale, Bitcoin continues to make a little bit of move in this week. I think it was up 6% yesterday, up 3% today. Gold and silver continues to struggle here. Dollars up, treasury bonds up, VIX is down. Let's stick with the S&P 65-minute chart here on Spider. So this is where we closed yesterday, and we talked about on the last night's update video. Bulls want to fill this gap as quickly as possible, and they had a chance to do it today, maybe gapping it up. Well, we didn't get the gap, but we gapped down. Opened up another down gap while this gap still remains open. That's going to make things a little bit hectic here. Good news is that with today's price action, it seems like that down gap from today, majority of that is filled. We got just a little tiny bit of it open. It would have been better if it was completely filled, but it's better than nothing. And I think so far, the buyers are protecting the short-term moving average. So, you know, we'll give you guys two scenarios yesterday. Either, buyers get up and fill it, act this level acting as some sort of resistance. Or if we do come down to the downside today, short-term moving average to watch as a new support. So you can see that we held that short-term moving average. And essentially, that's a good thing as far as the price action is concerned, because buyers, what they want to do, they want to continue in this buying pressure we've been in here. We got the higher highs and potentially another higher low there in the short term, as long as we stay above that short-term moving average. And 392, 393 area is also a pretty solid pivot. That was a prior resistance for several days or so, and then it's been acting as support along with that short-term moving average. So I still want to give benefit of the doubt to the buyers in the short term for the fact that we're still in the vicinity of higher lows and higher highs, and we're still staying above and trading above that short-term moving average. I think it would have been a little better if the buyers would have filled this gap, entirety of this gap. That gap slightly open and gives you a little bit of vulnerability going into tomorrow. Just like, you know, this gap wasn't filled yesterday. It would have been better if the gap was filled last night. Then maybe there would have been any kind of gap down today. So this gap not being filled completely, that gives you just a slightly bit, maybe in the micro term bearishness, right? In the short term bullish, obviously with the higher lows, I said it multiple times today, I want to give benefit of the doubt to the buyers in the short term, but maybe in the micro term, we're potentially dealing with a little bit of bearishness because this gap's open and this gap's slightly open. So let's check out that oscillator here real quick. So that oscillator, we talked about yesterday, potentially this market is doing some sort of sideways and continuation type of deal. But we didn't get that. That would have worked if we were seeing that gap up today. Well, we didn't see that gap down or gap up. Instead, we saw that gap down. And with that gap down, the oscillator is not going to like that, especially at a pivotal level. Bulls really needed to gap it up this morning, and with the gap down and with that oscillator basically saying, oh, no, I'm not going to hang around too long. We're now back below this dotted line. So I think with the oscillators, what the oscillator is telling us is that potentially there's a little bit of bearishness in the micro term, but we want to give benefit of the doubt to the seller or buyers in the short term. What that means is, look at this right here. You can see right here, we saw the initial gap down. But we stayed above the, short-term moving average, and initially price did get up. So what I'm saying is we want to give benefit of the doubt to the buyers who are staying above the short-term moving average, and we're seeing the oscillator pulling back. The potential scenario where we could potentially see if the price can stay above the short term, there might be price continuing to the upside like we saw here, right? Because benefit of the doubt goes to the buyers in the short term again, but in the micro term, with some of those gaps still not being filled, there's some bearishness in there, and with that oscillator kind of curling down. But again, overall stance going into tomorrow, I want to give and I want to classify this market as bullish stance going into tomorrow. You guys enjoy your evening and good luck trading tomorrow.